Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Universal Spiritualism. I'm trying to mess around with Facebook again because it's not the video out, and I'm just hoping I can get it up. It's still trying to play wishes, that's why. So we've got Jenny and Brenda from YouTube, so we'll just have to wait a few minutes while Facebook catches up, and hopefully we'll be able to stream straight onto there. Meanwhile, we'll get some comments on stage as well. So there we are. I will give it a second before bringing Niko, who's already in trance, on with his guides and inspirers. Noah. So sorry about this, everyone. I had hoped to. Oh, right. It looks as though we're cooking on whatever it is. And yes, fantastic. Right. We're on Facebook as well. Brilliant. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Universal Spiritualism. Tonight we have our wonderful trance medium, Niko. He's already gone into trance. So without further ado, I will bring him on to join us. Good evening.
Greetings to you, my dear one. It is always our honor, my dear, to come forth through your platform, to be heard, listened to, and of course, to be offered questions from the many. And greetings to all who have joined us this evening. A humbled honor and respect to each of you as well. There are so many topics that each of your human minds seek clarity on. Allow us to begin by speaking of the continuity of your essence, my dear ones. The simplicity in that alone. There is no beginning and no end. Your essence does not depart from our realm and enters yours. Nor so do those who you've lost and loved and exit your realm and enter ours. But then there would be no continuity of essence. Allow your minds to expand the horizons for a moment. Your essence is not made of matter, as is your physical form. It is an energy, vibrational force, much more powerful, much more encompassing and vast than your human intellect could ever fathom. It is never confined, my dear ones, never limited through its vastness. It is everywhere. So that you may perceive you're isolated, you walk alone, you fear. Recognize, my dear ones, it is one fragment of your identity. You are vast, expansive, wise, of love. So even as you face your own doubts, allow your uncertainty to overwhelm you. Merely remember, it is but one physical journey. This never defines who you truly are. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. So now's the time that I'll pass over to our viewers and ask that if you have any questions about the spirit world or how the mechanics of mediumship works for the spirit, etc., now is the time to ask. And I'll just say a few hellos. We've got Jenny, Brenda, Teresa, Dana, Andrea, Melanie, Christine, June, Eileen, Lisa, and Mandy, and Barbara. Teresa says, Noah, I am now in the old country as you advised me previously for the next 3 days. Have you any more advice for me on what else to do? Thank you.
My dear one, it is you who follow the guidance in your heart, my dear, your intuition. Only you, my dear, can guide your own journey. We offer direction to your own guidance, my dear. Notice how you sense peacefulness, a connection. Allow this experience, my dear, to awaken what is within you. Do not overanalyze. Feel your way through your heart, my dear. Listen closely to the intuition. Be receptive to those who you are to meet. Listen to words spoken to you. Guidance, my dear, is provided in many forms. Even a passerby who mentions a few words with their greeting. You notice how those words trigger something within, my dear. Continue to listen. Follow your intuition. And remain observant, my dear. Do not become consumed with your surroundings, nor those near. Remain attuned to what is within the atmosphere, my dear, to what possibilities, what unfoldings shall occur. Remain in the present moment, my dear. Do not worry. Do not live tomorrow as you are living today. Find peace in that. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We've got a few people asking for guidance. We've got Andrea asking, may I have some guidance? Bernie, am I on the right spiritual path? And Mandy Sherd, who feels stuck and would like some guidance. So I don't know if you want to talk more generally about that element of guidance that you talked to with Teresa, or whether you'd like to take each of those individually.
As you wish, my dear.
Okay. Well, Andrea posted first, so let's pop her up. And Andrea says, may she have some guidance?
My dear one, your question is quite general, is it not, my dear? When one is seeking guidance without direction, without specifics, does this, my dear, indicate you are confused or you are seeking affirmation for the path you are following? Recognize, my dear, what you perceive as difficulty, which offers uncertainty, As that clarity does not manifest immediately when one consciously decides to follow the path. There is much that first needs to transpire, my dear. When one listens to the intuition, when one listens and follows the guidance, the first thing they notice is that it is not in alignment with those whom they hold dear to their heart. This offers those to become unsettled, for they fear change in you. They are accustomed to your ways of being, your ways of thinking, for it is in alignment with theirs. So when one begins, my dear, to seek within, to follow the inner guidance, their perception alters. They no longer find themselves speaking the same language, if you will, with those dear to them. This is transformation, my dear. This is how it begins. Ask yourself, is it more important to remain aligned with those in your life for fear of losing them, for fear of not being accepted, for fear of not being seen? Or is it more important to you, my dear, to remain true to yourself, to allow your essence to come forth, to remember your essence in order for you to remember your true path along this physical journey? Listen within, my dear. You do possess all the answers to the questions you ask. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Next, we have Bernie Gear, who asked, "Am I on the right track spiritually?"
My dear, when you differentiate spiritually to your humanness, then I must ask you, my dear, do you perceive that you are traveling upon the true purpose within your human existence? In order to ask a question pertaining to your essence, my dear, one must first review what they perceive as importance along their human journey. Is your directive, my dear, ego-driven? Are you seeking financial success, status amongst your peers? Are you focusing on appearances, on being accepted? Are you deeply rooted, my dear, within the human existence? Do you even view those relationships you keep as relationships forged within your realm? How can one, my dear, redirect their focus on their essence if their focus on the human existence is not truly clear? A spiritual journey, as you say, my dear, if I may, is an inaccurate phrase. That entails, my dear, that you are human, reaching for spiritual enlightenment. And in actuality, my dear, it is in reverse. You are a spiritual essence, my dear, experiencing the human experience, and nothing more than that. So you begin with your essence, my dear. How your directive is altered is by focusing on what is created of the mind, desired by the ego, judged by others. That is humanness, my dear. That is merely a role you are portraying through the vessel you keep. When one becomes enlightened, as is termed in your realm, my dear, This parlays into the fact that they remember their essence, that they remember that they are essence and have never ceased to be their essence. So the question I pose to you, my dear, is that your awareness as well? If it is, my dear, then I ask you, humbly, my dear, what is the purpose of your question then? I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And then we've got Mandy Shared, who is saying, can I ask for guidance, please? I feel stuck.
Indeed, my dear. Allow us, my dear, to pause and focus on this phrasing, my dear, that you feel stuck. Allow us to view those words through two different lenses, my dear, in order to offer clarity, which you will be able to accept. The vision of your human form, my dear. We use this as a distraction, a diversion, my dear. A diversion from the path you wish to be on. You are experiencing the changes around you. Maybe career, family, friends, love. For you have begun, my dear, to seek within. You have felt presence near. You are intrigued by the unseen. And therefore, my dear, you feel the imbalance. It's not that your road has ceased, my dear, but your perception of your surroundings is being gently shifted. So even what you perceived as a necessity no longer holds such weight. Even your desires in your realm, my dear, have altered. And for this feels unfamiliar, perceived unfamiliar. Your mind perceives it as being stuck. Now allow us, my dear, to view the same scenario through the lens of your highest essence, my dear. This is growth. A wall being torn down, if you will. A doorway opening, leading to a vast, illuminated passage, my dear. There is no fear. There is no hesitation. There is remembrance, for you are meant to walk through that passage. But this is your true purpose. And through that lens, my dear, you are able to also sense comfort, encouragement, love, honor. Through all the essences, my dear, who are joined with you along this physical journey. The same feelings, my dear, the human mind often overlooks, for it is preoccupied with worry and doubt. So once more, I ask a similar question, my dear. Which lens do you prefer to view your current situation through? I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And just to finish this group of who are asking for advice, the Maria was asking for advice as well, and by reading her various comments, it looks as though she's broken up with a partner and is heartbroken and asking for advice around that issue.
Indeed, my dear. Similar response. Once more, metaphor of two lenses, my dear. You view this as devastation, a heartache, through two lenses, my dear. The first, the desire to be loved, to be accepted, to be needed and wanted. The desire of the ego, my dear. You also sense it, my dear, from your essence, who recognize no one you love's essence. And these two essences, my dear, shared the blessing of shared love through physical form. Through the same lenses, my dear. Your human perception is that this too is a loss. Your ego is whispering to you, belittling you, that perhaps you may never find another love, that you are to blame. There is shame and there is guilt. But your highest essence, my dear, is also whispering, which you are not attuned to honor this essence. There was indeed a sacred agreement, my dear, to enjoy love, to express love through physical form, to walk in unity with the physical experience. And this, my dear, is truly a sacred honor. One essence bestows it onto the other. So, my dear, there are two opportunities for you. You are being provided two lenses, two perceptions, my dear. And in order to truly recognize which is the truth, allow me to also add, my dear, that your ego, the one who is whispering, the one who is leading you astray, my dear, does not work alone. The ego, my dear, is also part of your construct. It is also part of your higher essence, my dear. So it is your essence, my dear, which is offering you two views. It is always your essence, my dear, offering you a dual perception throughout your physical existence. For that is how it grows, my dear, evolves and ascends. So allow those words, my dear, to be retained through the days that follow. And notice how this perceived pain subsides. And notice how you in comfort. And you honor the other essence as you honor your own. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We've got some questions now about mediumship and spiritual grounding and things like that. So we've got Lisa Park saying, I'm struggling with grounding myself. I don't know why it is so difficult for me.
My dear, that is your perception through your human mind. Are your feet, my dear, not touching your earth? Grounding, my dear. There's a misconception. It is offering you an anchor to steady yourself through this human experience as you are connecting to higher intelligences, to higher essences. But my dear, with that teaching, that belief, you are also endorsing the concept of separation. Your breath is your anchor, my dear. Your breath is your grounding point, my dear. For the entire physical form is the ground. It is not a matter of reaching outward from your earthly realm, my dear. It is for acknowledging it is your essence anchored into your earthly realm, my dear. And therefore, no additional grounding is required. And when one views it through that perspective, my dear, there is no longer perception of struggle. You are safe, my dear, for you are essence. You are grounded, my dear, for you are physical form. And this should be the truth you accept. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We have Dana Clay saying, what is the purpose of ritual to connect to spirit? If the breath is all that is required, why so many rituals?
Why so many various teachings of your realm, my dear? Why so many methods? Why so many formulas? Why so many overlapping truths? And yet, my dear, were each of these truths, were each of these interpretations, were each of these sayings, teachings, beliefs originated, behind each one, my dear, was the breath. So the origin, my dear, is always the truth. What is absorbed, what is altered, what is forced, what is feared. It is miscalculations. All are the afterthought, my dear. The breath is always the origin. And the origin is always the truth, my dear. Even notice with your own development, my dear. Each moment, there is a deep inhale. Do you not sense more of a connection, my dear? And through the exhale, my dear, do you not feel steadier? Without additional elements, techniques, or theories. In the simplicity of the breath, my dear, do you not feel more connected, more alive? More comforted, loved? Do you not feel the companions? Do you not sense messages? Everything else of your realm, my dear, which is instituted through the human mind, though its meaning was of assistance, merely serves as a distraction, my dear. And you yourself, through your own journey, have come to recognize this distinction, have you not, my dear? When the mind is analyzing, you perceive your connection to become distorted. When you rely on breath and breath alone, my dear, accompanied with silence, you have noticed the profound expansiveness. That alone should be the answer to your question, my dear. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Jenny Berlin asks, when I give mediumship readings, I get very drained. Any advice to help me?
Breathe, my dear. Recognize, my dear one, when your awareness shifts, my dear, to your own energetic expanse. When your consciousness, my dear, is alert to other consciousnesses within that same energetic expanse, my dear. This is your mediumship. So what has occurred, my dear, is that your awareness becomes enhanced within this field. Within this field, my dear, the vibrational frequencies rise to a much more profound and powerful level, for there is no limitations, my dear. When your awareness re-enters, if you will, your reality, your physical form, you are aware of the density of your realm, my dear. Hence the fatigue. You even experience nausea, a band, if you will, around the forehead, my dear. This is all your physical form attempting to catch up, if you will, to reintegrate. It is as if, my dear, your awareness is returning to form. It is as if, my dear, you are threading yarn through the eye of a needle, if you will. Hence fatigue, hence disorientation. Hence, my dear, a sense of regret. But when one touches the outskirts, my dear, of the consciousness, when one connects, my dear, to higher essences, when one embraces and navigates through pure conditional love, there is even a sense of regret, my dear, on the return to your realm. Hence, this is the journey, my dear. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Karen Berry says her friend has cancer and is struggling emotionally and physically. Is there something she can do to support her more?
My dear, notice, my dear, where her focus truly is. She is focusing on the illness. She is fearing outcomes. She is uncertain of her mortality, my dear. She is not listening. She is not accepting anyone's words of kindness. She is suffering in her own pity. When this occurs, my dear, the realization of your realm is magnified. Even her illness appears magnified. Her fears appear magnified. The idea of separation has embraced her. She is uncertain on what is to come. Offer her your truth, my dear, even if your mind tells you otherwise. uncertain if she will accept it or not. Offer her your truth, my dear. Remind her her essence is eternal. Her essence has never left. Her essence, my dear, recognizes the time of departure of the physical realm. This is not the end. You should not worry, my dear. For what she perceives as an expiration date may indeed be extended. No one is certain in the physical realm, my dear. Only the essence is certain. Inform her of your teachings, of your transformation, of your awareness. Assist her to feel the presence is near within her own atmosphere, her own space, her own energetic field, my dear. She will indeed sense them near, companions, loving, supportive, encouraging. You mentioned she is your friend, my dear. Do you perceive yourself as her friend as well, if you are withholding your truth for fear of how you will be perceived? Perhaps, my dear, this is the core of the agreement your essence has made to one another, for you to speak your truth in her time of need, for you to overcome your fears as well. I thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Barbara Benbow, you've expressed that you need help. Would you like to give some more information about that? And we've got Teresa. Apparently, it's All Saints' Day in Ireland today. She misses her dad in spirit a lot, and she just asks for any message for her.
My dear, if I may ask you to return to the first and elaborate with the help mentioned, my dear.
Okay, sorry, we'll go back to Teresa then. Barbara's actually just popped in. She needs help with her heart.
Indeed, my dear. This can be accepted, my dear. Interpreted, if you will, in two ways. You're referring to assistance to an ailing physical organ. Or you're referencing, my dear, heartache, and the inability to open yourself to love. But either one, my dear, notice on where you are focusing, the center of love. Yes, the breath is the anchor into the physical form, my dear. But the emotions are linked through your heart center, my dear. So you are referencing the very touch point, my dear, of essence. When one struggles with the ability to love, to receive love, to sustain love in their perception. This is a valuable lesson to their essence, my dear. But through this lesson, there is comfort in the understanding that there is growth for all, not merely your essence. For if love, my dear, pure love, is such a sacred identity, of essence. Do not perceive, my dear, that heartache through the physical realm is quite powerful as a learning tool to the essence. When one is referring to an ailing physical organ, my dear, recognize this as your journey. Also recognize, my dear, that it is your essence who implemented a failing organ. Also lessons for when one is experiencing discomfort, pain of an organ. Notice, my dear, how many emotions have already swirled through your mind. Fear, anger, disbelief. So through both reference points, my dear, recognize it as growth, alignment, intentional. This is the path created, my dear, by your very essence. Such a question that, from a human aspect, is it not counterintuitive, my dear? I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. I'm not sure if Teresa's still on here, but she was, so we'll go back to her. It's All Saints Day in Ireland. She misses her dad in spirit a lot, and is asking for any message for her today.
My dear, allow me to ask you a question, my dear. Why do you believe you miss the essence you recall as your father? Where do you perceive he has gone, my dear? If, my dear, you live in a home with a spouse or a child or a parent, then they embark on the journey, my dear. In your understanding as they shall return, do you miss them? You will wait for their return. This is the physical experience. You view it as such, my dear. Your essence and his essence embarked on the journey together to the physical realm. Once each of you entered into the physical realm, you reacquainted as physical forms. The one physical form's journey came to a completion. But both essences, my dear, are still aligned on the same exact journey. But you may not see or even touch the form. You are overlooking, my dear, the fact that his essence is very much present. This is a soul agreement to journey together into a realm, to remain together until both physical incarnations have completed the cycle of learning that they set out to accomplish. One assisting, encouraging, supporting and loving the other, regardless if there is a physical form attached to the essence. So rather than missing this physical form, my dear, are you recognizing the assistance his essence is still providing you? The love he is still surrounding you in. The comfort to ease all your perceived pains. For when one, my dear, becomes aware of such a nearness of essence, to truly feel and sense and listen, one also recognizes, my dear, there is nothing at all to miss. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. We have Lennis Angel, who says, "Is there a message for me, please?"
My dear, the irony of your question is that you recognize messages. You sense essence near. You are attuned to that fine frequency, if you will. So with that said, my dear, why are you asking if there is a message you already received, my dear? Continue your development, my dear. Continue to sit in your silence, connecting to essences. Remove from the mind your rationalizing, intellectualizing, attempting to identify who it is at all times. The more you utilize your thought, my dear, the less clearly you receive the message. Notice, my dear, how the messages you receive during your sleep state are much more clearer than when you sit in your silence, interconnected with essence. Even within this form of communication, my dear, ask yourself, where is your mind? If your mind, my dear, is apart from the form, then as your consciousness, my dear, continues to expand into the energetic expanse, one notices there are multiple lessons and multiple messages being absorbed simultaneously. It is not pertinent, my dear, to analyze each one as it comes, but then it limits how much can be absorbed within the consciousness. Rather, my dear, keep the mind at bay. There's plenty of time to analyze upon your return. Observe as you absorb. Even if these messages are fragmented, they are intentionally fragmented so you do not become consumed with intellectualizing what they mean. And allow them to speak, to offer messages to the outer world. This too should not concern you, my dear. For when you are focusing on the messages provided to your outer world, you're once more limiting what you receive. you absorb even more messages and insight and guidance pertaining to your journey. When you bring your awareness back, my dear, offer gratitude within the acknowledgement that transmission has been completed for that duration of time. You may note, but you do remember. It is not necessary to intellectualize. First, you are rationalizing, my dear, creating your interpretation. You are forgetting that there are more fragments of messages stored within your subconscious. If one merely journals what they receive and allow for time to pass, those other fragments within the subconscious to unfurl, my dear, to your conscious mind. And then journal with that insight reveals. One is able to recognize multiple messages, my dear. Not merely one you are asking for at this time. Do not rush. Rushing is an illusion, as is time in your realm. I thank you, my dear one. I realize we have come to our time.
We have, exactly, yes.
Indeed, my dear.
I'll pass back over to you to give everyone some final words.
Much gratitude, my dear, once more. And gratitude extended to each of you for listening, for partaking, for opening your hearts to receive, as well as offering love for us to receive. Remember, my dear ones, even if this journey, this physical reality seems daunting, difficult, confusing, recognize, my dear ones, it is indeed a very important construct of yourself, an honorable role to fulfill, if you will, in your realm. A realm which provides many lucrative teachings, many lessons which offer growth. So even when you sense you are at a crossroads, you are confused, you are frightened, first honor yourself. For within that honor, you are spreading it to all other aspects of yourself, as they are always honoring you in your bravery for enduring the trials and tribulations of your realm. And with that, we too offer each of you our respect and our honor, for it is truly deserved. I thank you, my dear one.
That was beautiful, thank you. And while Niko returns to us from trance, and thank you, Noah, for joining us here this evening, I'll let you know about our lives tomorrow. We start off at 10 o'clock in the morning with Amanda, and then we've got Sheila at 3:30. We've got Lynn with her ribbons at 5 o'clock. We've got healing at 6 o'clock. So busy day tomorrow. You're more than welcome to come and join us. on online live psychic readings on Facebook, and Find Me a Medium on YouTube. If you are interested in developing your own awareness, then Niko has books that are available either on his website, and you can find that on the tag at the bottom, or there's a link on my website, Find Me a Medium and / books. And you can also oh, it's gone. There we are. Universal Spiritualism Awakening, if you're interested in developing your awakening further. And I've also got some awakening cards that accompany the book as well, that you are welcome to find and buy either through my Facebook links or through the website. Oh, we're back again. Hi, Niko.
Hi, guys.
That was brilliant. Thank you.
That was powerful.
Niko's back with us on Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock. That's UK time. And that's more evidential mediumship through trance on a Tuesday. Okay. Thanks then again, Niko. And we'll see you on Tuesday. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's been a lovely evening. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.